Developing a game is hard, right? We all know that. And doing it solo, that's even worse. Then, add to that the fact that you've got a full-time career and a family to look after, and suddenly the idea of developing a game seems beyond daunting. So how exactly am I pushing ahead with it? Well, to put it simply, minimalist game design. But what do I mean by minimalist game design? Okay, so you may have seen in the previous Devlog that Sanctity has switched from a fully 3D hack and slash RPG, kind of akin to Nier and Devil May Cry, into a side-scroller action RPG that's still inspired by Nier and Devil May Cry. That change was the step towards what I'm calling minimalist game design. In short, I'm cutting out the fluff and bringing the game down to more manageable levels and developing it up from there. For example, since it's now a side-scroller, it doesn't actually need to have fully 3D models anymore, so in order to have unique art assets, rather than having to delay development whilst I learned how to create and rig characters in Blender, I was able to switch to a pixel art graphic style. But then I thought about it more and realised that pixel art itself doesn't actually need to be incredibly detailed in order to look good. It just needs creativity around it. So I decreased the detail of the sprites to, funnily enough, a very minimalist art style for both the characters and environments. This then increased the speed of level design and construction massively, meaning that rather than taking 1 to 2 months to make a single level, it's only actually taking weeks now, sometimes even just 1. However, that also means the scale of the game's setting gets lost, as the lack of a 3D world means it's harder to visually understand the size of the city in which Sanctity actually takes place in. The original 3D version was going to feature a massive open world for you to explore, but again, that wouldn't really be feasible as a solo developer, or probably even as a small team. So instead I looked back at the games I grew up with to see how they handled scale. The answer? A world map. But again, we come to the issue of 3D models on a world map, or an entire world of pixel art. Neither was a particularly suitable option due to the immense amount of work that was going to have to go into them, again, as a solo developer. So I looked to the games that I loved once again for inspiration. This time, it was the Shin Megami Tensei games that came to the rescue. The world map style that Shin Megami Tensei games use was kind of a bare bones, super deformed scale world, with pointers to show you where you are. Think a controllable Google Maps pin. This style fits the minimalist visuals of the 2D levels in Sanctity perfectly. So I got to work and used a Blender add-on called Blossom, or BLOSM, to help build a single mesh of the entire city made up of geometric shapes to represent the buildings. Then I created a pin character for the player and an alternative pin model for NPCs that you can find throughout the world. All of a sudden, Sanctity is now a minimalist pixel art game with a minimalist world map, and is actually now feasible in terms of development as a solo developer. So, with all of those changes done, the next step is to get the enemies finished for the tutorial level and the first level, and then start work on the first major boss fight. If you want to follow along with the development of Sanctity, I stream the development each week over on Twitch. You'll find the link in the description below. And I also post regular work in progress updates on my Discord. And of course, as everyone on YouTube says, you can always say, hit that like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to go and continue making some new enemy sprites and some animations. So I'll simply say, thanks for watching. Ta-ta.